Previously on Coupled with Chaos personal podcast.
The only reason I remember I had shrimp, we had an event on Sunday. I can't remember what I ate yesterday.
That's true, sadly.
Because it doesn't matter as much to me.
I love when I go to make something, I go, I'm making one of your favorites tonight, something you really liked the last time I made it, and you're like, I don't remember that.
I don't even know
and
that I had
and you
that.
raved about it, and you're like, I did? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I make notes when people like things.
This is your favorite cake. I'm like, I don't have a favorite cake, but okay. I like it. It wasn't bad. That's the realm of where it goes for me.
When you go on about something like, man, I don't want this to end. It's so good. I could eat this every night. Then I make a note.
I'm just trying to make it so you don't off me.
Oh, stop.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Kelly.
And this is Coupled with Chaos. So the event of the week
for you
was to try and unsubscribe from a couple of unnecessary
subscriptions.
Yes, just stuff like that. Not this subscription.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you.
Very
we don't
important.
want you. Yes, this is an important subscription. This is $3.99 a month. I went through and there was just a couple of oddball ones that I had gotten to. And the hardest one was I subscribed to
your hometown newspaper.
Yes, my local newspaper, where I can probably get updates on
one story a month.
The biggest pumpkin that was grown this season, who is going to be headlining at the Monroe County Fair.
The fact that the bowling alley was closed.
Yes, that was a few years ago,
right.
But the bowling alley burnt down.
Yes.
There used 2 bowling alleys. Now there's only 1. So I thought it would be simple. It was easy to subscribe. They make it pretty simple for you. You just go on, click, and give your information. Your card's processed, and that's good. So on Monday, I went to the customer service part of the webpage that's there. Go into your account and cancel. And a thing popped up that said cancel not allowed.
Available, yeah.
Yeah, it said not allowed. You weren't allowed to cancel. I said, this seems kind of funny. I went and hit the customer service contact email. I emailed them, gave my account number, everything you would need to cancel. Sent it. Nothing.
So you tried again?
Yeah, what I did is I did it for 4 straight days. I took the same email and forwarded it to the same address and said, this is my 3rd attempt, my 4th attempt. So finally, what happens is I'm busy during the day and I just didn't really have time. I said, I need to probably just talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. So on Friday.
And I said to you, that's probably what they want, is for you to call so they can try to convince you why you need to keep this $1 subscription.
Yes, this was it. So I called. And even then, when you called, there was a 5-item tree. And in none of those were to actually cancel. Mm-hmm. One of them was the closest one I could find was to get a subscription for the paper copy of the newspaper. Mm. If this is what you want, I think it was 4. Hit 4. So I hit 4. And it turns out in that tree, you are able to speak to someone. I spoke with Chloe.
Okay.
I don't believe this was Chloe's real name.
Okay.
And I gave her the account information. We were about 2 minutes in when she finally confirmed I believe I'm speaking with Stephen Burgess. I said, yes. She said, can I use your first name? Can I call you by your first name? I said, yes. So here we go. I said,
you play with her and you go, I don't think we're on that kind of level.
Let's leave it professional. Countess is what I would like you to call me. I identify as the Countess. This is a Luann reference. That would be good. I wish I would have thought about that. That would have been better. So you know what this person's doing. I mean, you said it. They're trying to just keep me subscribed.
Well, we'll give you 3 free months if you continue or something like that.
Didn't even get that far. She pulled up the account. She says, I see that you have an $11.99 subscription. I said, no, I don't think I have an $11.99 subscription. I believe my subscription is significantly less than that. Like $11 less than that a month. She said, well, you're on an introductory rate. This means the subscription is actually $11.99 a month, and you're only paying 99 cents a month. And you have 3 more months of this. She goes, this seems like a good deal. Do you know all of the extra stuff that you're getting with this? And it's like a USA Today. It's a Gannett Corporation newspaper. So like you get a electronic
access
copy.
to other stuff.
Yes, yes, I'm fully well aware, and I'm just not using it. She said, but it's such a good deal. I said, well,
you should have just said, I live in Texas.
No, it gets
Don't
there,
even get
right?
into I'm from there.
Yeah, because I hadn't even told you this story yet.
Okay.
She said, well, it's such a good deal. I said, if it's such a good deal, do you subscribe? Is what I asked her. She said, well,
This is
no.
where you start messing with
She
it.
said, no, I don't live there. I said, well, guess what?
I don't either.
I don't live there either. And so this is an excellent reason for me not to subscribe. So it finally took a while. And she wanted to they want a survey and all this sort of stuff. And it probably was about a 10 to 15 minute ordeal. I said, I understand your job. And I know we're probably being recorded. And I appreciate what you're doing. But this is eating into my lunchtime. And I actually work during lunch, so you're eating into my work time, and I won't be able to go home. So let's get to the end, because when I leave,
I want a cancellation.
I'm not going to be subscribed to this anymore. So she said, yes, you will run through August 20th is what your subscription will run to. Here's the funny part. Guess what?
What?
It didn't last that long. It canceled immediately.
Oh, that's funny.
So they took what would you do? Would you not want your $1? You're not going after your $1? I'm not. I probably...
If I cared about the paper, I'd say I was supposed to have access. But if I don't care, then good riddance.
Yeah, I would just really roll through, there's like one page of local content, and then it's all, AP Wire stuff. So it's stuff you really get everywhere else. So this was a newspaper that I actually, just so you know, I actually worked at this newspaper. So there's something to it. It's not just the small local paper. It's back when they used to run typeset, right?
In high school.
Yeah. That was it. And then we went electronic at that point. But the nostalgia has worn off.
Yes.
And there is no way I would want to pay $12 a month for this paper. The thought that people have to.
Sad.
It used to be the Monroe Evening News. And that was a nice thing. It would come out at night. So when you came home from work, the paper would be there. Which is different than most papers that... It was just done differently.
Well, in Virginia Beach, where we used to live, we used to have paper twice a day. There was the Virginian Pilot, and then the Ledger Star, which was the evening newspaper. There were two.
I am so glad for me that was going to be my profession of choice. The smart move was that I did not do that. Electrical work has turned into probably more...
lucrative. Yeah,
and just more of a better career path. When they get rid of electricity, if you're in a profession where you're going to be obsolete, at this point, electricity is not going to be obsolete.
Well, who could have imagined when we were in high school that any printed material like books and newspapers and magazines would ever be obsolete, because we didn't have computers at the ready and there were no cell phones, so there was no digital content. It wasn't a thing. So we couldn't have fathomed that. So who knows? Maybe someday there's no electricity.
Because you think about where computers were in 88 and 89, right? Apple was just their desktop Mac was just coming out.
Yeah.
At the newspaper, we'd got some of those. We would actually...
We had them at school.
We would actually write our headlines and captions on the Mac and print them out and paste them on the board.
Yeah, we had some at school, and you'd have to stay after school to type your papers and stuff. But, it wasn't something people could readily just afford to have at home.
The actual paper itself, we still fed it. At that point, at the end, we fed it into a computer.
I mean, if you think about it, even after we got married, the first computer that we bought, desktop computer, was on the clearance cart at Sam's Club. and it was an Acer Aspire, and it was emerald green. It had speakers attached to the side of the monitor. It was so fancy. We were like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. And the clearance price was $1,000. I mean, think about that.
That would have been, for you computer nerds, that would have probably been a 486 SX, probably a 133. We are going to talk about, in the rest of this episode, we're going to talk about there's a stomach bug going around the house, different from last week. And we're probably going to talk about I guess it would be a lifetime ban that our podcast has received from one of the world's media giants.
Yeah.
That has happened. We're going to talk about that. And maybe
it's all your fault.
Maybe you would, what did you go to? Bath and Body Works yesterday?
Yeah.
Fun times when look, it's what happens when we go out. We have interactions.
Yeah.
So stick around for all that.
Thank you for listening.
You can listen to the rest of this episode
by subscribing to our Coupled with Chaos channel on Apple,
by subscribing to our Patreon,
or by subscribing to our Supercast
for $3.99 a month,
where you can hear us talk about reality shows,
real life, and more on our podcasts,
covering shows airing on TLC, A&E, Bravo, and the WE Network.
Just follow the instructions in the show notes.
Tell your friends about this podcast.
And rate and review us on your favorite podcast player.
Follow us at Coupled with Chaos on all the socials.
Or contact us directly by email at coupledwithchaos@gmail.com.